used to think the gym was one of the safest places you could be. Cameras everywhere, people constantly coming and going, bright lights. Nothing about it felt dangerous. It was part of my routine. Same time every evening, same equipment, same faces. After a while, you stop noticing people unless something stands out. And that's exactly how I noticed him. At first, it was nothing, just a guy sitting on a machine. But then I started realizing something didn't add up. Every time I looked over, he was there, not working out, not talking to anyone, just sitting, watching. The weird part wasn't that he looked at me. It was how often it happened. Every time I caught him staring, he'd immediately look away, like a kid caught doing something wrong. I told myself I was overthinking it. People zone out at the gym all the time, right? But then days passed, and he was still there. Same behavior, same silence, same eyes on me. That's when it stopped feeling like coincidence and started feeling like I was being studied. And if you're into real stories like this, hit subscribe, because this one only gets worse. My name's Nolan, and before this starts, I need you to really listen, because this didn't feel like some random creepy encounter. It felt personal, like I was chosen. And if you've ever had a gym friend, someone you don't really know but see almost every day, then you already understand how this begins. I went to the gym every evening after work. Same time, same routine. It was the only stable part of my day. You start recognizing faces after a while, people you never talk to but you nod at. One of those people was a guy named Josh. He was always there. Tight shirts, shaker bottle, big duffel bag. The kind of guy who wanted to be seen as serious. At first, it was just that silent acknowledgement. Then one day, he asked me for a spot on bench. That's how it started. After that, he talked a lot. Asked where I was from, what I did, if I lived nearby. I kept it vague. He laughed at everything, like we were already close friends. Before I walked away, he asked for my Instagram. It felt normal at the time. That's just what people do now. But looking back, that was the moment I let him in. At the gym, he was manageable. A little intense, but nothing crazy. But outside, that's when things changed. We met at a local festival one weekend, and it was like a switch flipped. He was loud, too loud, and then the voices started. Random voices, high-pitched, then deep, then whispering. He'd say normal things, but in these weird tones. At first, I laughed. It was unexpected. But it didn't stop, not once. It just kept going. And the more he drank, the worse it got. He started saying things about people around us, things you don't say out loud, especially not in a crowd. I remember looking around, hoping no one heard him, but he didn't care. If anything, he liked the attention. At one point, he leaned in close and whispered my name in this slow, creepy voice. Nolan. I laughed it off, but something about it stuck with me. The way he said my name, like it meant something. After that night, he started messaging me constantly. Not just memes anymore. He wanted to know where I was, what I was doing, if I was going to the gym. It felt like he needed access to me all the time. I started pulling back, short replies, sometimes no reply at all. That's when he invited me out again, said some girls were coming too. I agreed, thinking it would be more normal. It wasn't. The girls never showed up. He lied. And he showed up already drunk. The voices came back, worse than before. Loud, exaggerated, non-stop. People were staring. I felt trapped sitting there, embarrassed, uncomfortable, like I was stuck in someone else's chaos. When I tried to leave, his expression changed. Not sad, not confused, annoyed, like I owed him something. I made an excuse and left anyway. After that, I avoided him at the gym, changed my schedule, ignored his messages. But he didn't stop. If anything, he tried harder. More messages, more questions. It felt like he couldn't let go, like I wasn't allowed to just disappear from his life. And then one night, things crossed a line. I was lying in bed. It was late. My window was slightly open because of the heat. And then I heard it. My name. Soft, drawn out, right outside my window. I froze. My heart started pounding instantly. I sat up, listening. Silence. I slowly walked over and looked through the blinds. I couldn't see anyone, but I felt it. That presence, that feeling that someone was standing just out of sight. I whispered, "Josh?" I don't even know why I said it, but it sounded like him. It sounded exactly like him. No answer. I grabbed my phone and messaged him, asked if he was outside. A few minutes passed. He saw the message and replied with just one word. No. That was it. The next night it happened again, this time farther back, near the fence. Same voice, same tone, saying my name like it was a game. I didn't hesitate this time. I told him if he didn't leave, I'd call the police. I blocked him right after. I thought that would end it. It didn't. A few minutes later, I checked the window again, just a small gap through the blinds. And that's when I saw him, a shadow standing right outside, too close, completely still, watching. I yelled at him to get out. The shadow moved, slowly stepping back into the darkness, until it disappeared completely. I didn't sleep that night. After that, everything changed. I quit that gym, got cameras installed, kept my blinds shut. I felt like I was being watched all the time, like he was still out there, somewhere. 3 weeks went by. Nothing happened. I started to calm down, thought maybe it was over. Then one morning I walked outside to go to work. My tire was slashed. Not punctured. Cut. Clean. Deliberate. I looked around the street, half expecting to see him standing there, watching me react. But there was no one. And that's the worst part. Because if he did that, it means he knows where I live. And if he knows that, then he was never just outside my window. He's been watching me a lot longer than I thought. So if you ever meet someone who feels off, even just a little, don't ignore it. Because sometimes they're not trying to be your friend. They're trying to get close enough so you can't escape.
My name's Lewis. I'm 22 and I live in a small town in Kansas. Nothing ever really happens here. That's what everyone says. It's quiet, safe, predictable. The kind of place where people leave their doors unlocked and don't think twice about it. But after that night, I don't believe in safe towns anymore. And before this story really begins, I need you to understand something. What happened to me didn't start at my house. It started at the gym. It was a normal Tuesday night. My friend Colton and I had just gotten to the gym around 7 p.m. We had our usual routine, pre-workout, headphones on, get to work. Colton had been dealing with a messy breakup recently. His ex, Addie, wasn't exactly stable. They fought constantly, and when he found out she'd been cheating on him, he ended it. Clean break. Or at least that's what we thought. That night felt normal until the front door of the gym opened. A girl walked in wearing a red hoodie and blue leggings. At first, nothing unusual, but then she just stood there, not checking in, not looking around, just staring. And not at the gym, at us. I remember feeling that instant discomfort, like when someone's looking at you a second too long. Then she slowly walked toward the women's locker room, but kept turning her head back toward us as she walked. I looked at Colton. He shrugged it off, but something didn't sit right with me. A few minutes later, we both heard it, crying, but not normal crying. It sounded broken, mixed with whispering, like someone talking to themselves while losing control. It was loud enough to cut through our music. We took our headphones off and just looked at each other. No one else in the gym reacted. That somehow made it worse. Then suddenly, it stopped. About 10 minutes later, she came out of the locker room. Same clothes, same hoodie. She hadn't changed. And instead of working out, she just started moving around, slowly, not using any machines, just drifting, getting closer, watching us. Every time we switched equipment, she would somehow end up nearby again, not saying anything, just there, watching. That's when Colton started getting uncomfortable too. We switched areas again, And then suddenly, she was gone. Completely gone. We didn't see her leave. No door sound, nothing. One second she was there, the next she wasn't. We finished our workout and stepped outside around 8:40. The parking lot was almost empty, but there was one car sitting there with its headlights on, engine running, no one inside that we could see. We both noticed it, but didn't say much, just brushed it off and went home. About 10 minutes after I got home, my phone buzzed. It was Colton. "Hey, do you think that girl could have been Addie?" My stomach dropped instantly. I didn't want to believe it. I told him no, it didn't make sense. Why would she come to the gym like that? Why act like that? But the more we talked, the more it started to feel possible. Still, we convinced ourselves it was just coincidence. We were wrong. Around 11:30 that night, I heard knocking, soft at first, on my brother's window. I got up and looked outside. Nothing. No one. Just darkness. Then, a few minutes later, knocking again, this time on my window, louder, closer. I froze. My heart started pounding. I slowly walked toward the window and pulled the curtain back just a little. Nothing. No one standing there. But I knew I heard it. Then suddenly, bang, bang, bang. The front door, violent knocking. Not normal knocking, like someone trying to break it down. The doorknob started shaking hard, rattling back and forth, like whoever was out there was trying to force it open. And then she started laughing. Not normal laughter, not even angry laughter. It was hysterical, uncontrolled, like she was enjoying every second of it. I felt sick, completely frozen. Then my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. I opened the message. "Stay away from Colton." My hands started shaking. Another message came in immediately after. "You made him leave me." And then a picture. My stomach dropped. It was her hand holding a knife. That's when it became real. This wasn't just some crazy ex. She was outside my house with a weapon, watching me. I didn't think. I ran to my dad's room and woke him up. He saw my face and didn't ask questions. He grabbed his phone and called the police immediately. The banging continued for a few more seconds, then suddenly stopped. The laughter stopped too. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels wrong, like something is still there, waiting. We stayed inside, not moving, not speaking, just listening. Every second felt stretched out. Every small noise made my chest tighten. Then finally, red and blue lights lit up the street. The police arrived, and what they found still doesn't sit right with me. She wasn't running. She wasn't hiding. She was sitting in the grass, right across from my house, holding the knife, smiling, like she had been waiting for them. They arrested her on the spot. She didn't resist, didn't even try to explain herself, just kept smiling like none of it mattered, like this was all part of something bigger. Later, they told us she admitted everything, coming to the gym, watching us, following, coming to my house, all of it, like it was nothing, like it was normal. I called Colton right after. He felt horrible, kept apologizing, saying he never thought she would go this far. But honestly, I don't blame him, because there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. I never gave her my address. Colton swears he didn't either. So how did she find me? That question stuck in my head for weeks, and the more I thought about it, the worse it got. Because finding someone's address isn't luck. It means effort, planning, watching. And if she was capable of that, then showing up at my house with a knife wasn't random. It was the next step. After that night, I changed everything. I double-check locks. I don't ignore weird behavior anymore. And I definitely don't assume someone is harmless just because they haven't done anything yet. Because the truth is, by the time they do something, it's already too late. And sometimes, they're not just outside your house. They've been watching you long before you ever noticed them.
He never touched the weights. I'm 25, and for years my routine was simple. Work, gym, home, repeat. I went to the same gym almost every evening around 6 p.m. It was familiar, safe, predictable. You see the same faces long enough, you start recognizing people without ever speaking to them. And before this story starts, I want you to think about that for a second. Because sometimes the people you recognize are the ones who recognize you back a little too well. I first noticed him on a leg day. I had just finished a set of squats and glanced up at the mirror. Behind me, sitting on a chest press machine, was a guy I'd never seen before. He wasn't working out. No movement, no weights moving, just sitting there, elbows on his knees, staring forward. I didn't think much of it until I went into my next set and looked up again. He hadn't moved, but this time he was looking directly at me. The second our eyes met, he snapped his head away. I brushed it off. People zone out at the gym all the time. But then I saw him again. 2 days later, different area, same thing. Sitting, watching, not working out. Every time I glanced over, I'd catch him staring. And every single time, the moment I noticed, he'd look away like nothing happened. It started to feel less like coincidence and more like a pattern. Over the next week, it got worse. No matter where I was in the gym, free weights, machines, stretching area, he always had a clear line of sight to me. And the strangest part, I never once saw him actually use a machine, not even a single rep. He would just sit there, like he was waiting. One night, things shifted. I was squatting again when I noticed him behind me, holding his phone up at chest level. It was angled straight toward me. For a split second, it looked like he was recording. The moment I turned around fully, he lowered the phone instantly and looked down like he'd been caught doing something he shouldn't. That's when the feeling hit me. Not discomfort, not awkwardness. Fear. Real fear. I started paying closer attention after that, watching him the same way he was watching me. And what I noticed made it worse. He never interacted with anyone. No talking, no eye contact with others. It was like I was the only person in the gym he cared about. Then, one night, I went to refill my water bottle. As I turned the corner toward the fountain, he was right there, standing, closer than ever before, only a few feet away. It startled me so bad I actually froze for a second. He didn't say anything, didn't even look up properly. The second he realized I saw him, he looked down and walked past me silently. That moment stuck with me because it felt intentional, like he wanted to get close, but not too close, like he was testing something. After that, I changed my routine. Instead of going at 6 p.m., I started going late, around 9 p.m. The gym is quieter then, fewer people. I figured if he had a normal schedule, he wouldn't be there. And for a few days, it worked. He was gone. No sign of him. I started to relax again, thought maybe it was all in my head. Until that weekend. My friends and I went out to a bar downtown. It was crowded, loud, completely different environment. Somewhere I felt safe again. Then I turned around and saw him, sitting alone at a table near the wall. Same guy, same posture, same stillness, watching me. The second I recognized him, my stomach dropped. He looked down immediately, pretending to focus on his drink. But over the next 20 minutes, I caught him looking at me multiple times. That's when I knew this wasn't random. This wasn't coincidence. This was intentional. I told my friends I wanted to leave, didn't explain why. We went to another bar a few blocks away. I didn't see him again that night, but the damage was done. Because now I knew he wasn't just at the gym. He was following me. 2 weeks later, something happened that confirmed everything. There's a nature preserve near my house with a long dirt trail I sometimes run during the day. It was a cloudy afternoon when I went for a run. Nothing unusual, just me, my headphones, and the trail. About 10 minutes in, I noticed footsteps behind me. At first, I didn't think much of it. It's a public trail. But then I realized something. The distance between us wasn't changing.
No matter how long I ran, he stayed the exact same distance behind me. I sped up slightly. A few seconds later, so did he. I sped up again. His footsteps got louder, closer. I glanced back for a split second. A man wearing a cap, head down, same build, same posture. It was him. That's when panic hit. Real panic. I knew there was a narrow dirt path up ahead that led to a street. If I could make it there, I'd be around people. So I ran faster, faster than I ever had. My breathing got heavy, my legs burning, but behind me, his footsteps got faster too. Then he started sprinting, full sprint, right behind me. That sound of someone chasing you at full speed, I'll never forget it. I turned onto the narrow path and pushed as hard as I could. My vision blurred. My chest felt like it was going to explode. The second I reached the street, I started screaming, loud, desperate. A man standing in a driveway across the road turned immediately, and the moment the guy behind me saw him, he stopped, right at the edge of the trail. I turned back just in time to see him hesitate, standing there like he was deciding something. Then he turned around and ran back into the woods, gone, just like that. The man from the driveway came over, asking if I was okay. I could barely speak. I kept looking back at the trail, expecting him to come out again. But he didn't. And after that day, I never saw him again. Not at the gym, not anywhere. But that didn't make it better, because disappearing doesn't mean gone. It just means you don't know where they are anymore. I canceled my gym membership a few weeks later, joined another one across town, changed my routine completely. But even now, every time I catch someone looking at me a little too long or see the same face twice in different places, I feel it again. That same feeling, like I'm being watched. And the worst part is, I still don't know what he wanted, because he never said a word, he never touched me, he never made a move, until the day he started running. And if I hadn't made it to that street in time, I don't think this story would have an ending. I never saw him after that day on the trail. No more sightings at the gym, no random appearances, no one watching me from across the room, just gone. And that should have made me feel better, but it didn't, because disappearing like that doesn't feel normal. It feels unfinished, like whatever he was planning got interrupted, not stopped. I still think about the way he ran after me, not panicked, not rushed, focused, like he knew exactly what he was doing. And the worst part is, what scares me the most isn't that he followed me, it's that he waited. For weeks, maybe longer, just watching, learning my routine, studying where I go, when I go, how I move. And if I hadn't taken that trail that day, if there wasn't someone standing on that street, I don't think he would have stopped. So now, every time I'm in public, every time I notice someone sitting too long, watching too quietly, I don't ignore it anymore. Because the truth is, some people aren't there to work out. They're there, waiting for the moment you're alone. If this gave you chills, hit like and share it with someone who goes to the gym alone.